Justin Herbert, the internet's quarterback darling. It's come to my attention that more casual fans are sick and tired of hearing about how great Justin Herbert is because he doesn't win and his stats aren't even all that great. There's a general sense that maybe he's overrated, maybe we crowned him too quickly, and I need to set some things straight. I'm going to try to stick to the broadcast view just for simplicity and brevity, but I will break to the all-22 when I feel it's necessary to illustrate something. Justin Herbert is incredible, and he's being put in situations where it can be really difficult to see that if you don't know exactly what you're looking at. I've heard some really ludicrous critiques of his game, like the fact that, or the rather opinion, that he's a one-read quarterback and that he doesn't process well. I've also heard that he's not good under pressure and that he has no clutch gene. I think every one of these is demonstrably false, and I think that we can actually prove how insane they all are from this one game. So without further ado, let's stop listening to me bloviate. Let's start watching some film. So it's worth noting that the Chargers are coming into this game without their starting right tackle, their starting left tackle, their backup right tackle, or their starting three wide receivers. They're also missing their starting tight end pretty quickly in this game. That's their starting tight end. He won't be here for long. That was a routine throw, on expectation, nothing special about it. Unfortunately, the Chargers run quite a lot of that. Again, that's an expected throw. This is a coverage bust. You'll see the running back slips out here. 57 and 31 have taken, they're in a zone coverage, the 49ers are. 57 here and 31 here have taken the same guy. 57 should have stayed off for the running back, and he realizes that a little too late. It sucks when your busted coverage leads to 5 yards, but in Joe Lombardi, the offensive coordinator for the Chargers offense, that's what he's aiming to do. His explicit philosophy is try to throw short so that we can get to 4th and short every time, because then we can get 4th and short pretty easily and get a first down. And if we get lucky, we get a first down earlier than that. I think that's ludicrous. I think that's intentionally handicapping your team, but you guys aren't watching this video for my coaching takes. You want to see Justin Herbert and how good he is. All right. Here, you may be thinking, Justin Herbert has all day in the pocket, and he does. This is actually really well blocked up by a makeshift offensive line. And here you might be thinking, why is he bailing from the pocket? It is wide open. He could stand in that pocket all day. It's so that he could make that throw. Nobody else is open. That is an incredible play. That's a great throw with a plus pocket movement because his movement created the throw. Now we'll jump to the all-22 right now, and I'll show you why that was just so beautiful. The 49ers are going to come out running a cover 4 zone shell. You can tell because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 defensive backs, and they're all just kind of playing ceiling coverage. The Chargers are going to be coming out with a flood concept to the middle. You'll see what that means in just a moment. Halfbacks split out, or flattened out. And then the outside wide receivers are just going to run deep to try to move the coverage backwards. So you can see here a little bit better. It's a streak, a post right here. It's kind of like a deep post, or an inside. A post is a corner that goes to the goal post rather than the corner, yeah? So he's trying to run straight and then cut off right between this safety and this linebacker. As you can see, Herbert's got a wide open pocket, and he would have been able to hit this throw if he had been on time. He missed it. That happens. It's probably his 3rd read at the least, because he's probably looking to one of the streaks first, then he's looking to this deep post, then he's going to look to the curl. So he missed it, and that sucks, but it happens. Obviously, this guy is very covered. He's bracketed. You can't throw it over him. You can't throw it under him. There's no leverage to play here. These streaks are totally covered up. So Herbert realizes he is screwed up, rolls out, and creates a throwing angle. Now there's nowhere else to go. You can't throw this ball. That's at least a pass breakup. You can't throw this ball. First of all, it's physically impossible. Even Josh Allen's going to struggle to get it there. But he's covered. He's blanketed. This is blanketed. This is blanketed. He was late on the one read he had, so he created a second opportunity for it. It's incredible. All right, we're back to the broadcast angle. And Justin Herbert's just special. That's an elite throw. That's really good. It's perfect ball placement, far downfield. Let's see. Yeah, so 32 yards downfield. Elite ball placement, utilizes his leverage properly, does not lead the receiver back into the safety. If that ball's underthrown, that safety is going to run right through the receiver's throat. But it's not. It's perfectly thrown. You couldn't have thrown it better. And yes, he was open, but it was perfect. Great job. So on this drive, Justin Herbert made a great play to create an opening. And then he capped it off with a long, deep ball touchdown that was perfectly thrown. He created that touchdown. They were not doing anything staying on rhythm in the offense. He needed to transcend it, and he did. That's what makes him elite. Chargers come out with play action on first down, and nothing is open, so Herbert takes off. Nice little neutral run. It's not a good play. It's not a bad play. It's a neutral run. You know, it's the same as a check down. Here they try to run a little rub route, and Herbert puts it just so perfectly. All right, I don't need to go to all 22. It'd be a little nice, but it takes too long, and you guys don't really need to see it that badly. Basically, 5 and 1 here are running a natural pick. 1 is going to run a short slant like this, and 5 is going to curl around his backside and run kind of a crooked streak. And it's just perfect. It's an elite throw. It's on the money, in stride, literally could not have been placed better. Literally could not have been placed better. And that's Justin Herbert creating. That throw's tough to hit. It's diagonal. People don't throw those very often. To hit him in stride, it's incredible. He's just creating yards more so than you thought you would get when you called the play. Here, that's routine. Herbert had nothing to do with this play. That's a bad throw. Herbert missed. Left it behind him. He had him too. He was open. On third down, that sucks. Third down, open. Like, there's no excuse. The pressure wasn't significant. I mean, he was getting rushed, but it was not an excuse. Yeah, ended drive 2 on a bad note. The 49ers are gracious and give the ball right back. Herbert throws another bad check down. That's bad. He missed him. If he puts it upfield, Eckler can get some yards. And a second down run, effectively a forfeiture. So now it's 3rd and long. It's 3rd and long, and look at all these red bodies. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 red bodies right at the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 7. You have your backup offensive tackles. You've got your backup wide receivers. This is a high degree of difficulty. And with a guy running into his face, oh, so close. So this is a plus move because nobody touches this safety. It rushes the throw significantly. He's got a man, and he just misses it. It's a bad throw. It sucks. It's really close to being an incredible throw, but that's the high-risk, high-reward nature. And that is the sneakiest kick of all time. All right, on to drive 4. Drive 4 starts with another run that is a forfeiture, but Herbert puts a good ball on him here. Let's slow this down so we can see a little bit better. On the hands. On the hands. Right. I mean, it's a perfect ball. It's a solid throw. Couldn't ask for it to be much better. Now, you could ask for him to have a little bit more anticipation, maybe. So it's earlier and the corner has less chance to drive on it, but that's just a really good play by the corner. Or the slot corner, because it's Jimmy Ward. Anyway, 3rd and 11, high degree of difficulty, and Herbert just checks it down. I hate to see that. In fact, I hate to see it so much that I want to check what his progression looked like. I think that it's a couple corners, like a bench concept, but let's go be sure. So the line to gain, the first down marker, is right along this 40-yard line. They run. It's almost like a flood. It's almost like a Hank. But basically, this slot receiver runs a button hook to the line, right? So he's running directly to the line. This guy's running kind of like an in-stop, it looks like, to the line. This guy's running a curl to the line. And then you have your running back split out in the flat and your tight end split out in the flat. Now, if I could choose, I would rather get the ball to my running back in the flat than my tight end in the flat. I don't like that read. But the fact that these were his options on 3rd and 11 is egregious. This is terrible. Like, realistically, 1 or maybe 2 of these routes have a shot in hell at a first down. The field is not being stretched at all. You've got your safety over here with his dick in his hand because nobody's being challenged on the defense. And you're not even getting the ball out quick in space. It's a late developing short throw with pressure. I really don't know what they were trying to do here. But that's the Brandon Staley, Joe Lombardi experience. Conservative throws at times when you just can't afford to be conservative. Alright, so they come out throwing routine plays. It's a pedestrian throw. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing good about it. Like, this is one of the only teams that play actions to get to a short throw to a tight end. Pedestrian throw, yes. Useful play, absolutely not. So, quarterback sneaks that are successful are almost always a neutral run. Like, you expect to get a yard, right? Oh boy. Steps up in the pocket, threads the honey hole. So you've got a safety over top and you've got a linebacker over bottom. So if this ball is lofted and comes over the top like a rainbow, or if this ball just doesn't have the velocity, you have a dead tight end. That's how Jermichael Finley happens. But he has the velocity and the accuracy, and that should have been, at the very least, a goal line possession, right? If he catches this ball, he's not getting tackled till at least the 10. So Justin Herbert creating opportunities for his team and getting screwed. 2nd and 10. The rush gets home, and Herbert does not care. Look at this. So he's going to have Nick Bosa right up in his ass. Like, his offensive lineman's twerking on him because Nick Bosa has told him to do so. You've got a free rusher directly up the dick. Tell me that this guy, first of all, the subtle little slide, the Brady-esque slide to avoid pressure, is an elite pocket movement. Now, there's no point differentiation or place on the chart for an elite pocket movement, but that is special stuff. So now he's got a guy bearing down on him from his backside. He just made this defensive tackle miss. Nick Bosa is looming large, and it's late in the down. And he threads this ball into a effective bracket coverage to get down to the 2-yard line. That is a great throw. That is a great pocket movement. That is elite quarterback play. That is a throwaway. He didn't miss by that much, but I wish he hadn't thrown it away so quickly. If we look at the pressure coming, it's Nick Bosa, yes, and he's free, but you have an extra second. You can try something, right? I mean, this receiver is completely covered. Not only because there's a dude over the top of him, not only because there's a dude trailing him, but simply because this route underneath cuts him off, and this route is also covered. However, if he took an extra second, he might have been able to lob it to the back corner of the end zone and let this guy have a chance at it. Now, it would have been risky, but if you put it right on the boundary, nobody has a chance at it except for him. And while it's a low percentage completion, it's better than a throwaway. False start backs him up, so second and long-ish. And here I'd like to see him be a little bit more decisive. Either one, gun this ball into DeAndre Carter, right? Or two, take off a little earlier because you know you're not getting away from Nick Bosa. So this is a negative sack. It's bad. That is Justin Herbert's fault that he got sacked. But it's 3rd and goal. It's also a plus pocket movement because he was under siege. Here, we get a pedestrian throw. They're trying to run a screen at the goal line. I don't know what they think was going to happen. Excuse my hoarseness, but I'm not going to cough. I don't know what they think's going to happen. There's just not that much room to abuse misdirection in a goal line situation. That was like a bad Madden call. Like, that's the 14-year-old that's like, oh, I always get a lot of yards on halfback screen. I'll run it right here and get a touchdown. It's not how it works, kid. So that's 4 points taken off the board because the Chargers had bad play calling and Justin Herbert took one bad sack. First down, routine play, pedestrian throw. So hopefully you're starting to notice that Justin Herbert has to be effectively perfect to keep this team on schedule. Because the only way that they create anything downfield is when he makes a huge play, right? Like, they don't have chunk plays built in. They don't have trick plays. They don't have opportunities for easy throws. Like, none of that Andy Reid, Mike McDaniel shit. This is all hard earned. Here, that's a really elite throw. The only reason it's not caught is defensive pass interference. And even with the defensive pass interference, the receiver has a great chance at it. So I'm grading this play, even though there was a penalty on it and it was not caught. Because you simply can't put this ball any better. I'm glad they're showing us the replay. You fucking idiots. Why would you not show us the replay? I'll show you a replay. See, he's got an arm being held, so he can't keep running. And he still goes up and gets a hand on it. If he's a step forward, which he probably would have been without the defensive pass interference, and he has 2 hands, easy catch. It's a great throw. Elite throw. So 1st and 10, they go back to the pedestrian well, just checking it down to the running back. He's a pass bat. Now, right here, he's got a receiver doing a slip and slide. He's got a curl that is effectively covered, because by the time he actually guns it over there, it'll be a hit. Or he's got the check down. Check down's the right play here. You're going to get the most yards from checking it down to the running back. Yeah, it's a bad bat. You can't let that ball get batted. Bad throw. That's a false start by the right tackle. That's a really good throw to fit it in the bracket coverage. Okay. So even on 3rd and 2, like, guess what the Chargers call? I bet you it's a bunch of curls. Here's a little, like, drag crosser. And a curl. And a curl. And an out. And he just guns it in there. It's a rip. Solid throw. Justin Herbert has to create in order for this offense to function. And he has to create with his 4th wide receiver. I would say his number 1 guy. Here, this is bad on Herbert's part. Again, this is a sack fumble. Right here, Herbert has time. He's got an outlet man. Get the ball out. He takes an extra second too long, and that allows number 94 to get an arm on the ball, sack him, fumble. Bad play. It's just as negative as an interceptable play. You can't do that. Even though the Chargers recovered it, no harm, no foul, you just can't do that. But he's not punished for his sins that much, so he gets another shot, and on 2nd and 17, he takes off. And picks up, 12 yards? It's great. It's a positive run. Here, 3rd and 6, tons of pressure. Wades through all of it for a big run. Another positive run, but let's look at this. Look at him navigate this pocket. It's already collapsed, right? You've got a pinch at the back. So that's Fred Warner, elite linebacker, and I think that's Nick Bosa because it's a white defensive end, and there's just not that many of them. So you've got 2 elite players pinching you, effectively unblocked, on your back. He steps up and through, plus pocket movement, and then as he steps through, the defensive tackle gets a hit on him. He jukes out of that. And then he runs upfield. That is special play. It's a positive run. Oh, yep, and that's where there was that questionable head-to-head. So he got a little lucky on the penalty, but that ends Justin Herbert's first half. Unfortunately, the Chargers have absolutely nothing going with Chase Daniel, and it sucks because this very well could have been a touchdown drive the way it was going, and it turns into absolutely nothing. All right, so that's the first half. That is the best first half of football I think I've ever graded. He had 4 elite throws, I think. He transcended. It's a bad offense with no offensive tackles, no wide receivers, against a good defense that is giving him a ton of pressure, and the man produced. He created touchdown drives where they should have been punts. All right, on to the second half. It's really great throw. The amount of zip that he puts on these balls. Boom, gets to his second or third read here, throws it 10 yards downfield. That is a solid throw. We will not grade it as great, we'll grade it as solid. Oof. Okay, so I don't know what this play is. It looks like it's some kind of flood concept where you have the running back slip out and then you have a tight end go over him. Or I guess that's a slot receiver. Yeah, so it's a flood concept. Basically, everybody's running different variations of outs to the right boundary, and he rolls right, and everybody's covered, and he's getting pressured. So it's a plus move throwaway. Now it's 3rd and 8. High degree of difficulty. Linebacker blitz gets there. He's just lucky to get the ball out. That's a positive throwaway because most of the time people are getting sacked by Fred Warner on a free rush. It's 2+ movements, 1 for evading the sack, 1 for getting the ball out, and a throwaway. That's the play you want to see, even though it sucks. So after Jimmy Garoppolo bounces a couple throws off the turf, Chargers get the ball back with another opportunity. See, Herbert's a 1-read quarterback. Look at this. So first read is clearly going to be to the outside. You look at his eyes. See that? You then see him load up and look down to the flat. I think that's a running back. Yep, that's Eckler. He realizes, oh, I've got something a little better, and he hits that curl to Palmer. 3rd read curl. But because it's the Joe Lombardi offense, getting to your 3rd read means you get 6 yards. Because nobody's going downfield. Nobody's stretching that defense out. Everything is dense and difficult. Right? You've got as many defenders within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage as possible because they know they don't have to worry about anybody going over the top. It's a neutral run on a quarterback sneak, as always. I mean, there are possibilities. I could give a positive play or a positive run on a quarterback sneak. It's just super rare. Yeah, it's a routine throw. Just checking it down. And again. See, the problem is that one's on 3rd and 9. I would much rather he didn't check this down. And this is why I worry that Joe Lombardi might be ruining this kid. But again, it's the same play as last time. It's the exact same play. You've got 3 curls, and you've got a tight end to the flat and the running back to the flat. It's exactly like the play I broke down on the All-22 a little earlier on a different 3rd down. I don't know what the fuck they think's going to happen. So after Juwan Jennings effectively creates a drive out of whole cloth for a touchdown, the Chargers come out trying to get cute with a little pop pass. We don't grade those as passes. If your baby sister can make the pass, it is not a pass. Pedestrian throw. Oh, it was dropped too. Fuck. Alright, well, 3rd and 16. I don't have to tell you what kind of degree of difficulty that is. And just, oh, I hate this play. I think that they ran the exact same play again. I think it was 3 streaks and then 2 flats. I think on third down they've run the same play 3 times now. We're going to go to the All-22 and find out. And if that's the case, I am going to personally fire Joe Lombardi with the authority I don't have. All right, so as you can see, they're going to do the exact same thing with the running back and tight end that they've done on every third down so far, which is just this double flat. But they are a little bit more creative than just running 16-yard curls. They have kind of a flood route over here. So this receiver, I'll just show you. Watch number 1 right here. He's the only possible option. If Herbert throws right now, he could maybe hit a back shoulder to number 1 and get him hit. Basically, they're running a streak, a deep post, the 2 flats, as I mentioned, and then this corner route, this out corner route by number 1. Again, I think 1 is the only chance at making a first down. I think this play was designed to go to 88. I think that's what he was coached to do, but boy, is that depressing. All right, so now the million-dollar question is, can Justin Herbert go 99 yards with his backup offensive linemen and his backup wide receivers against what is arguably the best defense in the NFL? First down. Play action, nobody going deep, and he just airmails it. That was an intentional throwaway. That is not a named pass. And then it's fairly intelligent because he was getting pressured in the end zone. Here, not as great, not as lucky. This is a bad throw. He's under a lot of pressure, but that guy's in double coverage. Now, nobody's open. Nobody's going deep. The defense is not being stressed in any way. This terrible offensive play calling. It's terrible wide receiver play. But it was also an inaccurate throw. Here, he evades pressure in the pocket again, and once again, on yet another 3rd and long, they throw a flat to the tight end. It is the same play every time. But 4th and 3, gotta have it, steps up, gotta get that. You gotta hit that. It's a bad throw. He was being hit while he threw it, absolutely. But part of being 6'5" and having a cannon arm is that you gotta be able to make those easy throws while being hit. He missed it, and he knows it. That's a bad play with a plus pocket movement. And it sucks for him. I'm just going to fast forward real quick because I know that the Chargers are going to have one more opportunity here. The game is still within reach. All he needs is a touchdown. Can he do it? And, of course, the first play. Now, they're doing the same shit with the tight end and the running back. Honestly, before the snap, he should just go stand over here, and everybody should just agree not to cover him, because that's exactly what they're doing every play. So, he had the open man, and I bet you he would have hit him. But watch what happens here. Watch this defensive tackle as Herbert throws. Ball comes up. That is a hand. That is an elbow. No quarterback in the entire world is going to throw an accurate pass when their elbow gets batted by a defensive tackle. So, is this pickable? Absolutely not. Most of the time, a batted ball like that, where your elbow gets hit, is just going to fall incomplete. Additionally, it's not really his fault. It wasn't that he was making a bad read. It's not that he was making an inaccurate throw. It's not that he was overly aggressive. It is simply that he did not have the pocket awareness to get that ball out quicker or avoid that defensive tackle. Now, that is bad. It is a bad throw. It is negative pocket presence, and therefore we grade it as a negative throw. However, that is not a pickable ball. It's just not. Anyway, as the 49ers kneel it out, that'll do it for this game. Let's get to the chart, shall we? So, as you can see here from the chart, and we're using the week-long chart, so you'll see a few other quarterbacks too. Justin Herbert in the first half was amazing. He had those 4 elite throws, including the one that drew a defensive pass interference. He had 2 great throws. He only missed 3 times. Almost 86% of his passes were accurate, and 36 of them went for positive plays. That is awesome. He had those 2 big runs, even with the sack fumble, which is bad. It's really detrimental. Even with the sack fumble, the man put up an A+ first half, the best first half I've ever graded. Take away that fumble, if he had just held onto the ball and gotten sacked like a normal guy, all of a sudden, you're looking at plus 18.5. Like, that's crazy. You don't see that. This is through 25 dropbacks, he's put together an elite full game. Problem is, whether it's because they were scared after he got hit or it's simply because they ran out of gimmicks, I don't know. In the second half, he was bad. Well, he was below average. In the second half, his slugging dipped to 15 because he missed 3 throws. He only had 1 positive throw the entire second half. He was under siege. He moved a lot. He was navigating the pocket really well, but he wasn't making any more runs. He had to throw the ball away 3 times just to evade pressure. That said, while under siege, a great defensive line pressuring his ass because they know he's got to throw, a bad offensive line with a right tackle, third string, making his first start ever going up against Nick Bosa, he got sacked twice. Only one of them was his fault. The man doesn't eat sacks. He's the anti-Joe Burrow. The degree of difficulty was incredibly hard all throughout the game, not only because the defense was really good, not only because his offense is really talent poor right now, and not even just because his offensive coordinator is probably the worst in the NFL, but also just because they were in long down and distances. He's in 3rd and long every time, and they're not even running downfield plays. It's not like it's 3rd and long and they run 4 verts and he can't make the accurate downfield throw. It's 3rd and long, and they're telling him, you better check this ball down to your backup tight end. You better throw it to him 3 yards downfield and pray that he gets 5 to 10 yards after the catch, which is ludicrous. It is unconscionable, but it is what they do. It is what they always do. Hopefully, you've seen a little bit of the light on why Justin Herbert is transcending terrible play all around him in San Diego, or I guess Los Angeles. And he deserves a lot of credit. Yeah, it's confusing that he only threw for 200 yards, and he only had the 1 touchdown pass, and they're losing games. They don't even have a winning record, and everybody's talking about him as a top 3 quarterback. Well, look what he's dealing with. Go and find me an NFL quarterback who's producing at any conceivably decent rate, whose number 3 wide receiver wouldn't have been his best option in this game. Go find me an NFL starting quarterback who had a better offense, who had a worse offensive line and played better. Go find me an offensive coordinator who refuses to call downfield plays, and find me a quarterback that is producing at a consistent high rate with an offensive coordinator who insists upon castrating him. Every single time the Chargers put together a good drive, it is because Justin Herbert has transcended everything around him. He is making excellent reads. He is progressing through plays so quickly. He's one of the best processors in the NFL already. He's top 10 for certain, probably top 5. I mean, he's not Brady, but nobody is. He's processing really quickly. He's really accurate. He's really precise. He's doing a high degree of difficulty. He cannot afford to make mistakes. If he makes a single mistake, the entire drive is dead every single time. Let's give this kid some credit. And he's been playing this season predominantly with hurt ribs, and he's still managing to put together an above-average slugging per game. He's got a median game grade of a 2.7, which is a B-. He's got an average game grade of a 2.88, which is a B to B-. No, it's a B. I've only graded 5 of his games, but he's got 2 great games in that mark. That's a 40% clip. That's really high. He doesn't throw interceptions. He's got 2 pickable balls on the year through 5 games. That's less than 1% of his throws. He doesn't take sacks. He doesn't take good sacks or no-fault sacks. He just avoids sacks. They don't happen. He's navigating the pocket 40% of the time, which is almost double the league average. The kid is a stud, and you should put some respect on his name before you go slandering him with totally unfounded bullshit simply because he doesn't have the hashtag QB wins that you expect he would have given all the hype he's got. For my money, Justin Herbert is the best young quarterback in the NFL by a margin, and he's second only to Tom Brady, and he's closing that gap. My only hope is that they lose enough games this year that Brandon Staley and Joe Lombardi can get fired, and Justin Herbert can show us what he's got with some real offensive play calling, and maybe even, just maybe, a wide receiver who runs faster than most linebackers. What do you think? Am I crazy? Are us Twitter film guys all way too high on Justin Herbert, or do you think we might be onto something? Hit me in the comments. What's up?